Hey people, Franksman here. Got a couple new toys to help out around the yard, and working on the cars and my projects. Figure I'd show them off. First one you see in the background, I got a little canopy tent. It's going to help out when it's light snow and rain and sun beating down on me. It's just awful. And lately it's just been hot, and rain. So, and number two is I got a cherry picker, or the Harbor Freight calls it a shop crane, but yeah, I call it a cherry picker. It's the 1-ton version. They had the 2-ton. 2-ton was almost double, but when I was comparing them, there wasn't too much difference except the boom arm was maybe about a couple inches taller, and this was a couple inches longer. I'm never going to lift anything over 1 ton from a deadlift anyway. Even the engine in that thing with the trans and the transfer case don't even weigh a ton. That's 2,000 pounds, and a deadlift would probably be half that, not even, probably about 800-900 pounds. So just to give you an idea on what you'd be able to lift with just the lightweight one. It says heavy duty, but the heavy duty one I think was 2 tons. The only reason I would think you would need a 2-ton would be for the extra reach, or if you're working on semi-diesels, a V12 diesel, lifting it out of the truck, you would need the 2 tons. I would never do that. So I did a little mod. Get to this part later, but let's take a look at it. The boom, the further out you stretch it, the less weight you can lift. The way it's built right now, but I have a way to have this 1-ton capacity all the way out to the end of the legs, compared to this. I think let's see, pop this out. This won't even reach to the end of the legs. That's a 1/4 ton. It's I believe 500 pounds. It's not even reaching the end of the legs. But I have a way to have this to the end of the legs and still be able to lift 1 ton straight up. And it has to do with this part right here. But let's talk about this setup first. You have to understand it to modify it. So okay, you get the 500 pound rating all the way at the end, because it's got to do with the metal that it's made of. It's I don't know, a 1/16 or an 1/8 inch thick square tubing. I believe with it all the way extended, it would crush this if you lifted 1 ton. So that's why they dropped down the weight limit. 500 pounds would be the maximum deadlift with it all the way extended as is, and you get the 1 ton rating with it all the way compressed because of how it's built. Find a hole. Where is it? There it is. You get the 1 ton rating because only this much is hanging out, and you're relying on from here to here. And if you notice, this bar right here is triangulated to disperse all the pressure to the piston ram and the framing in the back. So that's how you get the 1-ton rating and how far away it is from the ram. What the hell are you going to lift that close? I used this to pull the motor out of the car, and the thing wouldn't even reach the motor in the car, so I had to extend it, and I wanted to keep the 1-ton rating all the way out to here. So when I come back, I'll have my setup on here to where it'll have the 1-ton rating on the end, and I'll explain how I'm able to do that. Okay, there you have it. There's my setup to where I'm able to keep the 1-ton rating on the end of the boom. And if you notice, the hook is right over the wheels. The way I have it set up, I can actually extend it past the wheels, but that would be unsafe. You don't want to go past the wheels. It'll want to tip over when you put weight on there. So it's about the maximum reach I'll get out of this setup. But yeah, I added about a foot more reach to it. Let's go in for a closer look. I'll describe how I did it. I just added this red bar. This red bar goes all the way to this bolt, and I welded in this piece here that holds the chain. If you notice, the only thing that I did was basically extend a triangle, and I'm using the chain to simulate these bars. These bars is what transfers the weight into the different spots of the picker. So let's describe the forces acting on it. The chain, of course, is going to hold the weight. When you pull on a chain, it's wanting to go down. This piece is not handling the weight anymore. The chain is. You can see the chain tightening up, and this is not bending down. When the chain tightens, the forces on this bar change from being a downward force to a compression force. So you got the chain pulling tight. The chain is handling all the weight. The weight is being transferred to this point, which gets in the direction of the ram, and also to the back of the boom where it's being wrapped around here too. So most of the weight's transferred down and back. So that's how you're able to, I guess, mod a cherry picker. With that much weight, you can handle, I could handle 1 ton. I could probably pick up the front end of that car, or maybe a tank. I don't know. I don't know. That's probably an exaggeration. So let's lift something. Okay, maybe a tank.